Peace. Today is Wednesday, November 28th, making today's math.
Wisdom, build, destroy, all being born to knowledge. Cipher, all being born to knowledge.
Oh, that's right. Use your wise words to build on the positive and destroy the negative. And that knowledge, you take that knowledge and bring that to other ciphers and create more knowledge through that cipher. Peace to the gods and earths. Peace. Welcome back to the Yanadameen Godcast. I'm Lord Jamar.
I'm Digger.
We got fact checker Rage in the house.
Present.
Audio technician extraordinaire Alex.
What's going on?
Got my man Harold over here on the cameras. And we are back with our distinguished guest for part two. We have Dr. Wesley Muhammad in the house, everybody. Dr. Wesley Muhammad from the Nation of Islam. Salam alaikum, brother.
Wa alaikum salam, Lord.
So in the last episode, we were talking a little bit about your history, where you come from, how you came up in the Nation of Gods and Earths and made your way up through the ranks of the Nation of Islam. So really while you're here, last episode, we had a brother on the show by the name of Paul Guthrie, who has an interesting documentary series online called Get On Board the Wheel, where he brings up some things that you and I were taught in our lessons that we learned, especially in the 5% Nation. Certain things that we learned about Master Farad Muhammad and certain things that Elijah Muhammad taught us. There were some things that were said that were contrary to that. And he offers some compelling arguments. And we're here to see what you have to say about that, brother. I'm sure you're well aware, of what he said in the past, as far as Master Farad not coming from the holy city of Mecca and quite possibly coming from India, as well as he also offers the suggestion that Farad was not teaching Islam, but indeed he was teaching Buddhism. So those are his two main points, and those are the 2 points that I would like you to address here today, Brother Wesley.
Yes, sir. I am quite
True Islam, I should call you.
Islam. Yes, sir. All day, every day. I am very familiar with Brother Paul Guthrie. We have had a number of personal exchanges. We spoke on a number of occasions several years ago in an attempt to negotiate terms for a sit-down, a public discussion of his claims. I invited him, and the public exchange that we had regarding our private exchanges on my Facebook page. I even printed it in our book, Faking Jacks, Exposing Paul Guthrie. So we know each other on a personal phone call level, multiple personal phone call level. So yes, I'm familiar with what he teaches publicly. I'm familiar with the nuance that he acknowledges privately but refuses to acknowledge publicly, and God willing, we want to get to that as soon as possible.
Okay, well, let's get into it. I like to get into the mathematics of it. And
now let me ask you, did you say that there was a statement from Mr. Paul Guthrie that
actually he did send a statement.
Okay, because I would like to hear it, and then I would like to make a statement.
Okay, well, let me let me read the statement that I just received from Paul Guthrie in regards to you two having a debate. Because I had originally, for the viewers at home, I had originally, when Paul was on, I was under the impression that he would come on that last week, then you would come on this week, and then the following week we would have a debate. Now, somewhere, within the negotiations of this, we understand that, you deal with a certain hierarchy as far as, you're within an organization, within the Nation of Islam, and you can't automatically always do things, I guess, autonomously, however you would like to do it.
That's correct. That is correct. That's a fact.
So basically, the brother would like you to publicly acknowledge the word debate, in order to have any kind of dialogue or discussion. You say discussion, dialogue. He says debate. I say show and prove. At the end of the day, I feel the information is what's most important here. I really don't want to get caught up in semantics of terms and language policing, as you said earlier. But this is where we're at right now. Let me just read his statement. Lord Jamar, peace and thank you for your recent invitation to speak on the Yanadameen Godcast. Although a number of obstacles and interruptions arose as a result of my appearance, we all did our best to directly address and overcome those. Thanks also to the one and only Rod Digger and your entire staff for their coolness. On Thursday, the day after our Godcast, I learned the debate with Dr. Wesley Muhammad is now canceled. My attempts to inquire about the status of the debate through direct contact with Dr. Muhammad all went unanswered. In the end, what matters most is you did your part, I did my part, and I look forward to our future talks on the world-famous Yanadameen Godcast. Peace to the gods, peace to the earths, and peace to the 85%. Paul Guthrie. That's his statement.
So I'm going to.
Would you like to reply?
I would like to reply with a statement and then a direct comment.
Okay.
My statement is, it is our position that Mr. Paul Guthrie's video series, Get on the Wheel, in which he seeks to convince us that Master Fard Muhammad was not an Arabian Muslim, but instead was an Indian Buddhist, is not to be taken seriously at all. While there are some redeeming qualities of Mr. Guthrie's presentation, his main claims are based on a lack of knowledge of Islam as an historical tradition, a shallow understanding of Buddhism, and a demonstrable misrepresentation of the supreme wisdom of the Nation of Islam. Mr. Guthrie's scholarly methods are at times so amateurish and illogical that he seems at times to be willfully deceptive, knowing that non-nuanced thinkers and observers won't catch it. The net effect of this, Mr. Paul Guthrie is totally disqualified to speak on the subjects he presumes to be an authority of. In these presentations, Mr. Guthrie sounds very good and persuasive on a casual listening. However, when his words, arguments, methods, and evidences are actually scrutinized by critical viewers, Mr. Guthrie's constructions prove to be nothing more than an impressive house of cards to be blown away by the winds of critical engagement. And because he knows that, this is why Mr. Guthrie is trying to slide through whatever opening he can to squirm out of this engagement with me. As we stated at the beginning, I don't know what outreach Mr. Paul Guthrie is talking about. He has my phone number because it's been the same for over 23 years now, and when he wanted to get in touch with me in the past, he called my phone. I know how to call him. So he didn't call my phone. He made no attempt to reach out to me directly. If he's DMing
What I was told, he hit you on your Facebook.
No, but you don't DM me. You know how to, if you really wanted to get
No, it was on the comments. I don't think it was a DM. I think it was on the comment page.
to get with me, he knows how to get with me on a personal level. We've had multiple conversations on the telephone trying to negotiate a sit down to critically engage the ideas he has been floating around. But this is an attempt, in my opinion, to wiggle out of what I have been trying to negotiate with him, the proper sit down so we can properly vet the claims he's feeding the people of America and indeed the world.
Well, let's get into it. Because I don't want to get into any type of, I want to attack the information. I don't want to get on the person. You see what I'm saying? If we're gonna let's go after the information, and whether he's qualified and all of that.
It's like,
I'm gonna prove that.
I was always taught
Those who are qualify themselves. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm gonna prove the misqualification. I'm gonna prove that he misqualified himself.
Okay, well, for me, coming from 5% Nation, we deal with the mathematics. So to me, it's some of the mathematical equations that are very intriguing to me. And that's where I would really like to focus at. Why do we run Yaqub and his maid devil from the root of civilization over the hot Arabian deserts into the caves of West Asia? Okay? That whole scenario, and we know the science of general, I was always taught General Monk, but some say Muck, where we speak on the 2,200 miles, we make them walk every step of the way. Let's talk about those numbers right there, because according to Paul Guthrie, it doesn't add up. Those numbers don't add up if we take it from the holy city of Mecca, nor do the numbers of, we couldn't swim 9,000 miles. Like, could we talk about the mathematics of that?
Absolutely. So first, to contextualize, because we're getting into the discussion now, so let's be real clear. To contextualize the point that we're going to start with, there are four main claims that Mr. Guthrie makes, which in the mathematical discussion that we're about to enter into emerges out of these particular claims. So the audience will be clear on what the claims are. Four main claims. One, Master Fard Muhammad came from India and not Mecca. I'm actually going to start there. Claim number two, Master Fard Muhammad taught Buddhism. He did not teach Islam. Claim number three, the supreme wisdom teachings of Master Fard Muhammad are alien and incompatible with Islam, but totally compatible with Buddhism. And claim number four, which the point you want to start at is most relevant to, claim number four, the root of civilization, according to Master Fard Muhammad, is in the Indus Valley area of ancient Harappa or Mohenjo-Daro, and not in the area now called Mecca, Arabia. Those are his four claims. The latter claim of where the root of civilization is the root of civilization as mentioned in these lessons. Is the root of civilization in Mecca, Arabia, or is the root of civilization, according to the lessons, in India, the Indus Valley civilization? One of the chief evidence that Mr. Guthrie presents to establish and be real clear, his claim isn't simply that the root of civilization is in India and not Mecca. His specific claim is that Master Fard Muhammad in these lessons placed or identified the root of civilization with India and not Mecca.
Right.
That's a very important
By
nuance.
using those numbers, by using those
By using
coordinates.
His chief evidence is the teaching in the lessons that when we rounded up Yaqub's made devil in Arabia or in the root of civilization, and we marched them out of the root of civilization into the caves
into the caves
northwest.
into the caves of West Asia, as we now call it Europe. That we made them
1,100 miles, there was an oasis.
made them walk 2,200 miles every step of the way. So he hinges his argument on what he claims is a mathematical incongruity. He claims that if the route from the root of civilization to the caves and hillsides of Mecca, or caves and hillsides of Europe, are 2,200 miles, then the starting point could not have been Mecca, because that's not 2,200 miles. He says the 2,200 miles actually identifies the starting point with the area now previously identified as Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro, the Indus Valley area, because he claims that the math fits there. Will you please, he is mathematically wrong. Will you, dear brother Troy, bring up for us map number 1? Yeah. Now, so what we
And
What
you know
we
what you
have
could do real quick, brother? You can send me this stuff afterwards, and I can edit this into my program.
That
is exactly what we're going to do. So it'll be uploaded. What I have here is Google Maps, because in the initial Get Aboard the Wheel videos that Mr. Guthrie released several years ago, he likes Google Maps. So let's fact check Mr. Guthrie. What we have here is a Google map for the distance between Punjab, Pakistan, and the Caucasus Mountains. I pray that at least the live stream audience can see this clearly, and your audience will have it clearly because I will send it to you. So here we have Google Maps of Punjab, Pakistan, the distance from Punjab, Pakistan to the Caucasus Mountains. Why Punjab, Pakistan?
That was going to be my question. Go ahead.
Punjab
is where Harappa sat. The Indus Valley civilization composed of 2 cities, Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro. Today, the area where Harappa was is now Punjab, Pakistan. Today, where Mohenjo-Daro was is now Sindh, Pakistan. And today, where Mecca was, is in the Arabia of today, but we're going to talk about that. So this first Google Maps is the distance between ancient Harappa, Punjab, Pakistan, to the Caucasus Mountains. And we learn from Google Maps that it is exactly 4,041 kilometers from Punjab or Harappa to the Caucasus Mountains.
You know we from America and we don't know nothing about that metric system, so could you please tell us?
Okay, no.
I'm going to walk us through it because his success is by sticking and moving.
Remember when they tried to teach us the metric system, brother, when we was younger?
dropping something and then walking away. So I'm going to walk us meticulously through the mathematics and prove the hoax of Mr. Paul Guthrie's claims. So yes, so follow your brother. The distance given for Harappa, India, to the Caucasus Mountains, 4,041 kilometers, which when translated into miles is exactly 2,511.2 miles. Now, if we
Off by 300 and some change.
If we round that number, 2,511.2, if we round it, we have to round it down to 2,500, high school mathematics. To your point, there is a difference there of 331 miles. The difference between the 2,200 miles that we are looking for and the distance between Harappa and the Caucasus Mountains, the difference is 331 miles. Now, map number 2, please. Map number 2 is the Google map for the distance from Sindh, Pakistan to the Caucasus Mountain. Sindh, Pakistan is what was Mohenjo-Daro. Now, the distance between ancient Mohenjo-Daro to the Caucasus Mountains is 2,511 miles. I switched it. Punjab is 2,511. I had the two maps. The first one, Punjab, Harappa, 2,511 miles between the two locations, a difference of 311.2 miles. The second map, Sindh, Pakistan, where Mohenjo-Daro rests, the distance between it and the Caucasus Mountains is 331 miles difference, because the difference is 2,531.3 miles. Do you follow? So before I get to Mecca, understand.
I'm following. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for Mecca. But I got
the Indus Valley, for the audience. The Indus Valley composed of two cities. Mr. Paul Guthrie says that it is those cities that's identified as the root of civilization, and proof is that the distance between those cities and the Caucasus Mountains, where we sent the Caucasian,
is 2,200 miles, and at a distance of 1,100 miles, you will find an oasis, which he says is still there today.
Right.
We're going to have to take a break in a minute, bro. Oh, man, this is one of those shows. But let's try to finish this thought right here.
Yeah, let's finish this thought. And then we have demonstrated that the two cities are not 220 miles. They are 300 miles in excess of the 2,200 miles that we're looking for. So now let's go to map 3. The map that you and I all want. Google Map. The distance from Mecca, Arabia to the Caucasus Mountains. It is 3,496 kilometers, which translates into 2,172 miles, which is rounded up to 2,200 miles. The only 2,200 miles we have is from the city of Mecca, where it sits today, to the Caucasus Mountains. Mecca, 2,200 miles. A difference of only, let me get the math right, a distance of only 28 miles. But where Mr. Guthrie wants us to place the root of civilization, there is a difference of 300 miles. case closed. It's a wrap for him.
Hold up. Is there an oasis at 1,100 miles from Mecca to that oasis that's supposedly there?
Throws the math off even more, because without the oasis, you are at a 300 excess of the 22 miles that you're looking for.
I'm saying from Mecca to the Caucasus Mountains is at 1,100 miles. Is there an oasis?
No, sir. This is no, sir. So this is not the construction of Dr. Wesley Muhammad, nor is this the construction of Mr. Paul Guthrie. This is Google Maps, the distance from Mecca, Arabia to the Caucasus Mountains. That distance is in mileage, 2,172.189 miles, which is rounded to 2,200 miles. Only a difference of 27.8 miles. But the difference in the area that Mr. Paul Guthrie wants us to place the origin of that trek, there's a difference of 300 miles. So it is not India that is the place where whites started their journey to the Caucasus Mountains. Google Maps mathematics makes it clear that it was Mecca, Arabia, where that 2,200 mile trek began.
The Queen Rod Digger want to ask you a question real quick before we go to break.
Yes. My question is, where geographically, I know Europe is the Caucasus Mountains, but what, like, at exactly what point are you measuring, within Europe? Like, what geographical location is that measurement being equated to?
What we call Europe, West Asia.
The Caucasus
in our lessons,
Mountains
it says West
is
Asia.
north of the Azerbaijan region, Armenia, and going into Russia. So at the foot of the Caucasus Mountains range is presumably where Google Maps placed the destination, and at the holy city of Mecca, as it appears on maps today, is where Google Maps began the journey, began the calculations. And their calculations has us at 2,200 miles. The calculation that...
And is that a straight shot? Because he told us that there is a way to come up with that 2,200 miles from Mecca, but some of it entails some U-turns and it's quite a roundabout way, a way that you couldn't walk, he said.
And you don't see any of this on this Google Maps. You don't see any of those
It looks pretty straight to me. It looks very straight from what I could see.
It's a straight shot.
Okay, so listen, that's very compelling right there. We have to take a break. When we come back, maybe we can talk more mathematics. Maybe we talk about the 9,000 miles. How about that?
Yeah. And there are things that I would like to offer as a focus of discussion. These numbers are good, but there's a lot of there's even more substantive matters in his claims.
This is such a subject that it's really hard to encompass it in such a short time.
Right. Understood.
But we're gonna do our best. Yanadameen Godcast. We'll be back. Peace. It's the absence of all confusion. United we stand, divided we fall. 2 fingers together is the real peace sign, y'all. Brand Nubian peace gear. Hoodies. T-shirts. Snapbacks. Available at hoodg.com. Get yours today.